Good Sunday morning. It's gonna be a good week, I hope. And made a video yesterday that I'm gonna play in a bit here, and I wanted to apologize for calling Trevor fat in this video. Like, even though he is, I made the what you call it, the assessment that, because of his body type being a bit bigger and stuff like that. And like, even though like, for a lot of guys, it's tough to find new women and all that stuff. I have 3 baby mamas, luckily. But like, for a lot of guys, it's tough to find new women to be with and all that stuff. And like, considering like his body type and all that stuff, like it must be tough for him to find a new woman. And that's why he stalked me and harassed me to try to impress the woman that gives him pussy all the time. And, I just felt bad for calling him fat. So I just kind of wanted to apologize about that before I show you the video of me calling him fat. And then as for that Justin situation, I told him today that he's the retard for charging me, for threatening me, and then saying he would have charged me and all that stuff. Or he said he'd call authorities on me, all that shit. But the way he threatened me, and then I stood up for myself, and then all of a sudden he was like, I don't fight special needs, dude. It's like, dude, you threatened me first. I didn't go out of my way to say anything to you. That's as far as that went. And, for the last 2 weeks, I've been trying to get him into the boxing ring so that we could have a one-on-one fight, and then I'd buy him a beer afterwards. The summer before, I kept telling him to get in the ring and that I would actually pay him real money to fight me in the ring. He didn't want to do that. So as far as that goes, man, I fucking won against Justin. Fucking won against him because the original contact was him being like, hey, this is Justin. I'm going to beat the piss out of you. There's not going to be a fight because I'm going to throw you around. I'm going to beat the piss out of you. And then I was like, okay, well, let's bleed together. Then he was like, oh, I don't fight special needs, man. I don't fight special needs. So it's just like, he came off like a retard who has special needs when he threatened me. And the only reason I'm using the word retard is because he called me retard every time we saw each other afterwards. And then the first time we saw each other, I was like, shake my hand or fight me. And I was like a foot away from him. He wouldn't do either. So, after that, his ego was all hurt, because I was like, I told him that. I told him to shake my hand or fight me. And then after that, he was like, I'm going to call a mental on you. I got friends with me all the time. I'm never alone. Implying that he, would use other people to fucking, fight me and all that shit after he threatened me already. And then the second time, there's a little gay kick there and all that stuff. But that was fuck all, man. That was fuck all. I kept telling him to get in the ring. I was in the long guard the entire time. Tried to move my hand away and stuff like that. But I was just in the long guard all the time. I was picking my spot. If you tried to fucking break my long guard, then I would have picked my spot for. I was aiming for his chin. He knows that. Like if he tried to fucking do anything like that, but he didn't fucking do anything. That we met up twice already. He never beat the piss out of me like he said he would. It's 50-50, dude. Like it's always fucking 50-50. I don't give a fuck who you are. As proven by Aljamain Sterling. He was such an underdog yesterday, but I told everybody that he was like, he worked on his cardio and that he was going to do it. But I know I'll have a UFC results for my bets right after this video, hopefully. Well, at least that's the plan. And yeah, but I won against that bully. Overall, if you were to tally up everything that fucking happened between us, and then me asking him to get in the ring publicly out loud in front of everybody, and then him backing down, and then me having the proof where he threatened me, and then said that, oh, I don't fight special needs, I don't fight tweakers, man, all that shit. It's in the video below. In the video below, he had the original threats right there where he's like, oh, I don't fight tweakers, I don't fight special needs. It was like, I don't do drugs, and at the same time, I'm not fucking special needs, But anyways, the reason I made this video right now is to introduce how, I didn't really mean to call Trevor fat in this video. He's a bigger guy, but the way, Samuel L. Jackson was like, I wouldn't go so far to call a brother fat. He's Samoan. What's a brother going to do when he's Samoan? From Pulp Fiction there. It's like, I just felt bad for calling him fat because, I'm fat too. We're all fat, that's how it goes. We're human beings, but, here is an authentic reaction to my enemies choosing to be my enemies when this whole time I just wanted to be friends with everybody. I'm not sure if I understand my enemies, but I guess that's not really the point, right? They're my enemies because they elect to be my enemies. I never went out of my way to ask Justin to threaten me. He just threatened me. I never went out of my way to ask Trevor to be like, hey, do you think you can get me fired? I never went out of my way to make these enemies. These enemies just one day decided like, hey, Darren's my enemy. And Justin decided one day to threaten me. And then the first time we saw each other in person after he threatened me, I said either fight me or shake my hand. And he did neither. And yeah, and then when I was walking away, that's when he decided to get all tough and be like, oh, okay then, let's fight. Afterwards, but I was already 50 yards away. I mean, what a time to choose to get tough after that. And then in between that, I kind of thought we buried the hatchet that day. And then the second time we saw each other, I just kept telling him to get in the ring, because in between the first and the second time we saw each other, he was threatening to call authorities on me. So if I won the fucking fight, if we did actually fight, if we were to actually fight, if I were to win, he'd fucking call the police on me. He'd fucking charge me. I know the squealers, man. That's fucking him right there. That's how it is. He decided that he's going to threaten me, and then he won't get in the ring with me. That's my win, right? Why the fuck would you choose to threaten me? And then when I'm get in the fucking ring, buddy, he just would not get in the ring, and he's trying to be like, oh, he's not worth my time. And then in that fucking video where I show you where he threatens me and all that shit, he's like, oh, I don't fight people with special needs, man. It's like, dude, I'm not fucking special needs. And first of all, you threatened to fight me first. Why would you be like, I'm gonna throw you around, I'm gonna fucking hurt you, I'm gonna beat the piss out of you. And then all of a sudden, when I stand up for myself, be like, I don't fight people with special needs, man. That doesn't make sense. That makes Justin look retarded. I know people are judging me for talking out loud in the middle of the fucking streets. People will say I'm talking to myself, but I'm talking to a camera and putting it publicly out there. My true real life of what really happened. But anyways, the last time we saw each other, I just stayed in the fucking long guard. And I kept telling him to get in the ring, because I don't want to take another fucking charge. Every time I was fucking charged, it always ended up with me going to fucking jail for the night. And then after the weekend, I'd get out. And then, they'd be like, okay, you gotta stay away from the person that threatened you, that you ended up beating up and winning the fight over. You gotta stay away from them because they're afraid of you, is what they told the cops. And then I fucking had that whole thing where it's remand, court date, remand, court date, remand, court date, remand. And then finally, court was over. I didn't want to go through that fucking hassle with him, but ultimately it was him who decided to become my enemy. And I honestly believe, I don't know why he decided it. I don't know why he decided to threaten me, but I honestly feel it's because him and Barbara were in the same grade. And I feel he was jealous about the fact that I have a baby with Barbara, but a lot of people are jealous about the fact that I have a baby with Barbara. But she chose me, and, I wouldn't trade her for the world. She's my first baby mother and my first real love, the one that matters, But that's the enemy that chose me. And it was over Barbara, right? Probably. That's how I feel anyway. I'll never know for sure. I think he was having a bad day. And then Justin was like, you threaten Darren because he looks like an easy target. But I'm not a fucking easy target, man. Clearly, I bet he's wishing that he never fucking threatened me now, because it's a big deal, right? But he can get in the ring and we can fight legitimately in a one-on-one fight in the fucking ring, everything like that. Film it and then show the world what happens, but I don't know. He's kind of a weird dude, I know I'm weird. That's the pot calling the kettle black, but it's I'm an artist, right? I'm that kind of weird. He's the kind of weird where it's he threatened me. I stood up for myself. And he's like, I don't fight retards. But it's dude, I'm not fucking retarded. And if you thought I was retarded in the first place, why the fuck would you threaten me and then tell me that you wouldn't fight me? Why the fuck would you do that? It doesn't make sense to me. And he's the one who comes off retarded for threatening me in the first place, when he shouldn't have threatened me. I don't deserve to be threatened. I deserve my right to live freely and safely. And, he can still get in the ring. And the whole thing, though, that's the situation as far as that goes. And then Trevor, I fucking asked him to leave me alone, man. I fucking asked him to leave me alone. And then finally, I brought up the fact that his dad wouldn't want him to fucking treat me that way. Would his dad want him to waste his fucking time being I'm going to get you fired, Darren, because of his fucking girlfriend's daughter is a whore who fucking framed me just because I caught her cheating? You know what I mean? That kind of shit, it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand it. But they chose to be my enemies ultimately, and that's from their own fruition. I want to be friends with them. I want to bury the hatchet, but Justin will not get in the ring. And he has whatever excuse about that, but he's the one who fucking threatened me, and I'm the one who came up with a diplomatic solution that works out for everybody, including the legal system that surrounds us, that gives us the freedoms that we have, the freedoms that we value, But that's just the way people are, and whenever somebody chooses to be your enemy, I just want you to remember that you can't choose for them to just be your friend. You can't choose for them just to be peaceful with you. Sometimes people are just assholes, and that's how it kind of goes. I wanted to be their friend, so I was Justin's friend for years. And one day he threatened me. That's it. He just, out of the fucking blue, decided to threaten me. And then after I stood up for myself, he was so fucking ignorant about it, when, hey, I'm just as equal as he is.
You know, like, we're equal. We're both fucking human beings, right? Right? So it's like, we're fucking equal. And then, you know, I came up with, like, the best solution ever, which was, hey, we can fight in the ring, legitimately, legally, 10 fucking rounds, and then after that, I'd fucking buy him a beer. But ultimately, he's one of those people who just decided, I'm going to be Darren's enemy. And that's that. That's Justin's situation. And when we see each other next, we will see each other next. Like, I bet there's people being like, oh, just wait until Justin sees him again. It's like, well, he saw me twice already. The first time was after he threatened me. And the second time was like, hey, man, I told him to get in the ring the entire fucking time. I was like, get in the ring, get in the ring, get in the ring. But I know he's too ignorant to fight fairly in the ring one-on-one. So that's just his decision. Then as for that whole Trevor's situation, I can't really explain why he's that way, you know, like, well, actually I can. It's over pussy, right? Like, he's a pretty big guy, like fat and stuff like that. And like, you know, it must be hard for him to land new women all the time. So whenever he lands a new woman, I bet he's like really like always trying to impress her, like overly impress her. And I guess maybe that's why he decided to think that I was an easy target until I found out that his dad died around the date that he was trying to fucking pick on me. And I used that as leverage in order to like enter his emotions and his feelings. And after that, he left me alone. But also the way he threatened to get me fired and all that, I ended up sharing with his boss all of the fucking messages that he gave me, which was me asking him to stop and then him not stopping. And the only reason I did that was because he threatened to do that to me. So it's like, I do unto others as they do unto you. You know, he was like threatening to be the rat, and I am the snake who did unto others as he did to me. But ultimately, my point is, I did not decide to be the enemy of any of these people. I did not decide that I hate any of them or anything like that. Just one day they decided that they hate me. Just one day they decided that they'll always hate me. But yeah, like ultimately, you can't spend your life trying to impress the people that are hating on you because of their own issues. Like, I never did anything to invoke being threatened by Justin. And he will not get into the ring. I don't know why, but I want to film it, you know, like for sure. And he threatened me. He started the fight. I just tried to find solutions for both of us. Like, you know, my freedom matters to me. Being framed by Darian, I didn't deserve that. Being threatened by Justin, I didn't deserve that. You know, like, I'm a fucking winner, man. Like, you know, that's why he didn't hurt me after he threatened me. And then, you know, I kept telling him to get in the fucking ring. You know, like, he has this fucking ego problem about it. But ultimately, that's a him problem. That has nothing to do with me, you know, like he might be, oh man, keep my name out of your mouth, blah, 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 all that shit, but I never fucking talked about him before he threatened me, you know, like, it was before he threatened me, I never brought him up before, ever, like, in my life, you know what I mean, like, we were friends as far as I knew, the entire time. I thought we were friends, and ultimately he was just being that kind of, you know, that asshole who decides that I'm gonna hate Darren today. I'm gonna make Darren my enemy today. That's what he fucking decided, right? But ultimately, I gave him the option to fight me in the ring. And I was 100% serious about that. And, you know, he turned that down because of, I have no idea why he turned it down, you know, like, all I know is that he never acted on his threats. Like, that first time we met, I said, shake my hand or fight me. He didn't do fuck all. So it's like, you know, also like the second fucking time I saw him, you know, I was like, you know, nothing fucking happened with that either. I told him to fucking get in the ring, man. I made him flinch when I went like that, you know, kind of freaked him out a bit, and, you know, yada, yada, yada. He did his little gay kick and all that shit, but, like, ultimately, like, he didn't do any of his fucking threats that he said he would. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like, I'm not being a dick here, but he's the one who fucking started the fight. He's the one who fucking threatened me. Like, I didn't fucking do anything to deserve that. He just decided one day to hate on me. And the same fucking thing happened with that Trevor, but as well, like, Trevor had an influencer. Trevor's influencer, oh, look at the river. The river's right up on the fucking waterfront. Trevor's influencer, you know, his influence was pussy. Like, you know, he's getting really good pussy from Darian's mom, you know, like, I'm sorry to sound so blunt when I say that, but I mean, like, they're dating, right? Like, when guys and, you know, gals date, they fuck, and right now Trevor's probably fucking every couple of days or whatever, the way, like, when Darian and I were going out, we were fucking, like, every day, right? So it's like, you know, like, pussy's a big factor for people to fuck with other people. And he decided to fuck with me by telling me, oh, I'm going to get you fired and all of that fucked up shit that he did, you know? And then after that, though, you know, he didn't end up doing anything. And, you know, like, I ended up sending those fucking messages and everything he said, you know, to his boss, which, I mean, is kind of ironic when you think about it, like, but he didn't have to fucking threaten me. I just did the snake thing, right? He was like, I'm going to tell your boss like a rat. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll tell your boss too. You know what I mean? Like, do unto others as they do unto you. I'm not a fucking rat. I'm a snake. I told everybody that before. I'm a snake. If anybody fucking rats me out, I eat fucking rats for breakfast. You know, like, And then, like, you know, Justin, like, threatening to call authorities on me and shit like that, like, after he threatened me, and then calling me special needs and being like, oh, I don't like special needs, when, you know, like, I'm not special needs, man. I had, like, a fucking, you know, 77% grade average, which, I mean, it's not anything to brag about, but you know, I'm a perfectly good C student. 77, that's the higher. And the highest mark I ever had was like 97 in drafting and all that stuff. But that's only because I paid attention. I enjoyed it, you know. But anyways, like, life's going pretty good right now. That UFC 273 worked out really well. Like, I ended up betting like $100, and I ended up winning like $150, which any sports gambler can tell you is a good day as far as that goes. But thank you, Aljamain Sterling, as far as UFC 73 is concerned. And but ultimately, that was like I said already, you can't spend your fucking life trying to impress these people who are just going to be assholes to you anyways. Like, you know, I mean, is there any possible way that Justin and I can ever be friends again? I think so. Does he think so? Probably not. He's one of those people who's just fucking angry at the world. That's ultimately it, you know, like, that's it. All there is to it. And then as for, like, Trevor, is there any fucking possible way that we can ever be friends in his eyes? Probably not. You know, like, did I fuck with him? No, he fucked with me. So that's just the way it goes, you know, like, I can't really explain it, but that's how people are. You know, I had a really great night, and people are trying to lock me up for having an opinion. That's it. Like, did anybody's arms or legs get cut off? Did anybody, you know, like, lose their life? Did anybody die? Is anybody dead after, like, all of the things we've been through? Darian just fucking framed me, and that's it. If she didn't frame me, then none of these videos would exist, because then I wouldn't have that urge to prove myself to the world that I am innocent from what she fucking tries to put me through. That's my baby mother, or probably my baby mother. I have no idea. You know, is Cameron my daughter? I kind of hope so. And if Cameron's not my daughter, then I never have to deal with Darian ever again. But anyways, I'm going to go back to work tomorrow. It'll be my 11th day. And I hope that everything works out. You know, like, I hope I get to stay free and live my life freely. I had a really great night, and I'm going to go celebrate with a beer. You know, like, I don't like to drink too often, but, like, you know, as far as life goes, like, I'm in celebration mode. Life's going really well. I get my daughter on Monday, and I hope one day that Barbara and I can be friends for Drayton. But, you know, there's always somebody coming up against me to try and make my life a living hell in one way or another. You know, like, I had Cheryl wrongfully evicting me. I had Mulaney being like, oh, I'm going to lie about you. I'm going to tell everybody a lie about you. That's pretty much it. And then this whole Darian situation kind of just keeps going on, right? Because we have a court date on August 9th. I wouldn't be able to, you know, like, keep these videos going if we didn't have a court date, you know, stuff like that. But she's the one who chose to frame me because I caught her cheating. That's it. I just caught her cheating. We were engaged. And I know I say that a lot, but that's what happened. That's the thing that scars me more than anybody will ever know. You know, like, this woman, I loved her with all of my heart. Darian, I loved her with all of my heart. Like, she and Cam were everything to me. And I thought that we would grow as a family together under one roof, until she decided that she was going to frame me, right? But that's just how people are, I guess. I can't explain it, you know? All I know is that I never decided to be anybody's enemy. And Justin threatened me. I told him to get in the ring. And the first time we saw each other, I told him, like, either fight me or shake my hand. And he knows that shit. And then after I walked away, he just decided to bark at me. And then when I was like 50 yards away, he was like, okay, then let's fight. It's like, dude, I'm not wasting my fucking time with you. I was like 1 foot in front of you, telling you to either hit me or fucking shake my hand. And you didn't want to do either. You didn't want to bury the hatchet. You didn't want to fight like you said you were going to beat the piss out of me. And then the second time, you know, you didn't beat the piss out of me ever. And, you know, as far as that goes, like, when we see each other next, the ball is in his court, and, you know, I'm ready for whatever he wants to do. But ultimately, I told him to get in the ring, and you all know it. Like, Like, we can get in the ring in June. We can get in the fucking literal ring. My friend will fucking film the fight, and we can show the world what happens between us. And then afterwards, I'll buy him a beer. But the main point of this video is, you know, like, you cannot spend your life trying to make friends with some asshole who will never be your friend. Like, I want to be friends with Trevor, I want to be friends with Justin, but they're just those kinds of people that decided to hold a grudge against me, and they don't even know me, you know? All they know is some fucked up story some fucked up woman told them, you know, as far as that goes. And, you know, like, don't make me a woman hater. I'm not a woman hater. I you know, like, I love my mom, I love my grandmother, I love my sisters, I love my aunties, you know, I love my cousins, and I think that they're all strong, wonderful females, and, you know, I love women. I do. I fucking love them, and that's why I'm trying to find, like, a fourth baby mother. But, you know, ultimately, though, just take from this video, you can't spend your life trying to make some asshole happy who decides that they're going to hate you forever. Because, you know, life's about ourselves. You know, like, my life's about me. Your life should be about you. And we should go about our own way, living our life as freely and safe as possible. Just because some asshole threatens you or me or whoever, that doesn't mean that we have to be like, okay, I'm not going to live my life. You know, all the shit that happened to me, it was worth it, you know? It was worth it because I have Drayton from that, and maybe one day we'll have descendants from Drayton. And I have Lovey, maybe one day we'll have descendants from Lovey. And I probably have Cameron. Cameron is probably my daughter. If Cameron is my daughter, then one day we will have descendants, and that's just the way life is. I love my life, and I'm thankful for my babies. I love my babies, and I love their mothers, even that womb donor Darian. And I'm not going to spend my life trying to make anybody else happy other than my babies, myself, and maybe my baby mothers. Anyways, thanks for listening. Y'all have a good night. Respect.
But yeah, my main point in that video that I made after watching UFC 273 is ultimately our enemies choose to be our enemies. Like, I wanted to be friends with everybody who's up against me right now. Like, Darian and I, we could have been friends, but she framed me because I caught her cheating. And now we have to be enemies for as long as she keeps the lie going, you know? Like, she could tell the truth, and we could just be friends who co-parent. And then that whole, like, you know, Justin situation, he's the one who threatened me, and then it was all like, oh, little special needs. It's like, oh, okay, so you threatened me, and then you thought I was some kind of like special needs person, and then you were like, oh, I don't fight special needs after you just threatened me. But like, I'm not special needs, by the way. It's just the way that he threatened me and then said that he doesn't fight, you know, me because he thought I was special needs or some shit like that. Most ignorant fucking thing I've ever heard. Like, but ultimately it was Justin's situation to, or Justin's intention and all that shit to be my enemy and all that stuff, right? Like, I didn't decide to be his enemy. He chose to be my enemy. And then the Trevor situation, he was just trying to impress his girlfriend, I guess. You know, his girlfriend is my daughter's grandmother. And my daughter's grandmother is really upset that I called Darian a cheating whore publicly, more or less. And the fact that Darian is framing me, you know, her grandmother and her great grandmother, like my daughter's grandmother and great grandmother, are jumping on the bandwagon of her mother's lies, and they lie about me all the fucking time. But again, you know, our enemies choose to be our enemies, and our friends choose to be our friends, and the people that leave us the fuck alone are just kind of neutral, right? So whenever somebody is choosing to be your enemy, just don't waste your life trying to be friends with these people who will never be able to be friends with you. They'll always want to be your enemy for some reason that they have inside of them. Like Justin hating on me today has nothing to do with me. I never even talked about him before he threatened me. He's like, don't talk about me. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? I never talked about you before that. It's like, you probably slept with Darian then, or Barbara, or something like that, Mr. Guilty Conscience. But, you know, people are always jealous over Darian and Barbara being my baby mothers, you know, assuming that Darian is my baby mother, like she says, and all that stuff. But ultimately, that's the true story. And I just wanted to, you know, begin and end this video with the point I was making. Yeah, our enemies choose to be our enemies, and I just wanted to be friends with everybody all along.